Hey, how's it going? DeAndre Jones here. Today I'm going over something a little bit different. It's actually over an article I wrote a couple of days ago. I sent the email out. I don't know if you guys saw it, clicked it, or read it or anything, but this is basically a video of a basic overview of what that article is about. And just in case, you didn't get it, or, you just don't like reading, it's definitely understandable. So yeah, the article was basically about a book I read. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Pretty interesting book. He basically just talks about how, most of our lives are made up of just habits, not necessarily decisions, but just like things that we've conditioned our body to do over time. And basically how you can take negative habits and turn them into more positive ones, or even vice versa if you wanted to. But I kind of equated that a lot to my training. I was thinking about it personally after reading the bullet points and the message that he was delivering in this, and I was like, in a lot of ways this could be used for conquering fears in parkour and free running. I mean, because like when you think about it, what do you usually do when you're afraid, or you find something new? You take deep breaths, you try to calm your nerves down. Some people, they rub their shoes, they do run-ups. That's something I do quite a bit. I run and do half of the movement. You basically just like trying to break it down in steps, and you kind of just repeat that over time until you feel like you can get the confidence to do it. And when you really think about it, the only reason why you can recall what you actually do when you're afraid is because it's a habit. It's something that you just do over and over again. And when you think about it, what separates a lot of experienced runners from beginners or just people who just train casually, it's they're able to take those mental blocks and they're able to commit to movements very quickly, very efficiently, so they can get it over with. And what that can do is it just jumps your progression exponentially, because if you can just get over your fears and your mental blocks right away, you can just do it, master it, and then you can move on to the next step. So basically, the goal of creating this new habit is just to take my old habit, or anyone else's old habit, doing run-ups, taking deep breaths, taking too long to commit to a movement, and just shortening that. Because the longer you wait before you actually do something, the more you're mapping in your brain more outcomes, more negative outcomes, and you'll just convince yourself to end up not doing it, which a lot of people go through. They end up disappointed after a training session or something because they didn't commit to a movement when they should have just done it immediately when they saw it, and they're like, I know I can do that, I'm gonna go for it. But it's really hard, especially if you built up the habit over time, to constantly have to check what you're doing and make sure that everything's perfect, that making sure that you can make it and stuff like that, when you knew all along instantly that, hey, I could do this. I didn't need all this run up, I didn't need all this checking and stuff like that. I could have just went and just committed, and it would have been over with, and I could have just progressed to something different. So yeah, in this book he basically outlines what a habit is as a 3-point cycle. The first cycle is the cue, which is basically what prompts you to take action to do something. Next comes the routine, which is what you actually do, and after the routine you receive a reward, which is the reason why you're cued in the first place. Your body gets the urge to do something when it sees the cue, because it expects the reward after the routine. So it's just a 3-point cycle. Sorry, but basically, in the terms of parkour free running, when you're afraid to do something, that's the cue. That's the cue. Hey, I'm afraid to do this, but I know I can do it. So you're at the peak of progression. The reward is, hey, if I do this, I get to progress. Or hey, if I do this, everyone will see me and be like, oh man, that was awesome. And so like there's a lot of different rewards that you can get from committing to a movement. It's really more of a personal choice, but there's some type of reward for wanting to push yourself and push your boundaries. Now when you really think about it, it'll be difficult to change the cue and the reward. It'll kind of always be there. It's hard to change what will urge you to do something, or change the feeling of gratification when you actually commit to the routine. But what you can change is the routine in the cycle. And that brings me back to the beginning of this talk, when I was talking about what do you do when you're afraid. What do you do when you see something that you want to do, which is the cue, and what is your routine? Do you take deep breaths? Do you do your run-ups? Do you check your shoes and stuff? Do you do all these things that take too much time to actually commit to the movement? And like I said, when you wait too long to do something, you start to become afraid, and you end up not doing it. So how do we change that? What we do is we keep the cue, we keep the reward, but we change that routine. Besides waiting, so long to do something, as soon as we see something, maybe we'll check it once or check it twice, but then we'll commit to it. And then over time, through mental conditioning, you do that over and over and over again. You start to progress a lot more, and when you start seeing other things that you can do but you haven't done yet, you won't even think twice about it, because it'll enter your subconscious mind to commit to it immediately. So how do we get to that point? How do we change our routine? And how do we start progressing? Well, it doesn't start with the biggest thing that you can find. You don't want to go out and force yourself to commit to something that you're not ready for. It starts with very, very small things, ground level, just like with parkour when you're first learning precisions, leading up to this, and now you can do flips, and now you're jumping off, high obstacles. It takes baby steps. So you take the smallest things that you're afraid of, maybe a simple cat leap or something like that, or something that you've even done before, but it usually takes you a while to build up the confidence to do it. You warm up, and then you just commit to it as soon as possible, and you slowly build that conditioning over time, and eventually you'll get to a point where you can see anything and know right away if you can do it or if you can't do it, and just commit to it. So yeah, so that's basically the end of this video. I wanted to keep it short, and if you want more information, I wrote an article about it. I'll have it in the link below. But I want you guys to go out today and just try to find something small but you're still afraid of, and try to commit to it right away. Let me know how that goes. Also, let me know what type of tutorials you would want to see pretty soon, or any comments or questions that you have. You can comment down below. But train hard, be safe. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share, or I'll find you.